Hi, in this clip I'm going to show you how to play Head On, the second Grade 1 guitar rock school piece. I'll play the track first of all at the normal tempo against the backing track. I'll then give you a few pointers on things to look out for when you're actually performing the track. I shall then play it a second time with the tempo backed off a little bit, about 20%. I shall then finally play it for a third time, but I'll actually turn my volume all the way down so you can actually see where my hands are, so you can see where I am in the piece. But you can use that then as a slowed down backing track to practice to at an easy tempo. Right, I'll play the track first.
Head on. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right, okay. When you're learning the first riff, that bit, break it down into sections to make it easier to memorise it first of all. So look at the first two beats and the first four notes. It's just repeating the same two notes. Okay? Then try the second two beats of the bar. You suddenly realise that's the same two notes as well. So once you've got that movement sorted out, try the next bit and then put them together and so on. So it makes it much easier to actually memorise it if you break it down into small pieces. Right, measure 3, you've got be careful of that rest, okay? If you listen to me tapping my foot, it's not. You've got to make sure that third note is moved back a little bit, it's played on the offbeat. Okay, so don't miss that one out. Same with the chords, when you're going from the D to the F chord. It may not look like it, but it is a simple D chord to an F chord. So if you're used to playing a normal D chord, rather than just playing the two notes that are written actually on the tablature and on the stave, don't be afraid to play a full D chord, because that way if you do accidentally pick the G string, you know it's going to be a note that's still in tune as well. So don't worry about just playing those two notes, remember it's just a D chord. Right, what else have we got to look out for? Right, you've got our first mute strokes in here. Towards the end, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, the fourth measure on the fourth line, you've got some mysterious crosses appearing on the stave. Now what that means is a mute stroke, okay? What you need to do is place your hand over the strings and then pluck the strings, but so they don't actually produce any notes. It takes a bit of getting used to, because what you'll find initially is when you put your hand over, you'll press down very slightly and you get a load of random notes coming out, okay? So make sure you don't press your hand down, you're just laying your finger across the strings but not pressing them down, so you get that nice muted sound. So what you then do is then get ready with your first finger and play the two first frets, the F and the C note, on the top two strings. So mute strokes, then the actual notes. So again, best way to practice that is just do a loop of it. So once you can get that muted sound nice and clean, practice doing it as a loop until you can do it nice and consistently. What else we can look out for? There's the F chord at the end. You're introducing, rather than the top two strings, you've got the second fret as well, which you'll find quite difficult to play initially. What you've got to kind of get used to doing is folding that first finger really down flat, so you can get the space to get your second finger over without hitting the top two strings. So again, practice it by just playing the strings individually and making sure you can get them all to sound nice and clean. There's none that are muted out, so you don't want it to kind of go So make sure they all ring out nice and cleanly. Right, I should play it again now with the tempo backed off a little bit.
Head on. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, finally, a third time, this time with my volume turned down completely.
Head on. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hope that helps.